Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Coreboy. We're back at it again today, back on some Halo, back on our normal scheduled content, of course, because well, we got some things to talk about today, some things pertaining to Halo, of course, the newest entry, Infinite, because there's some big changes happening and things that I think do need to be talked about, and things that could pertain to the future of this game and the replayability of it, and hopefully things that get taken into the next title that we have coming out. Besides that, though, if you guys didn't know today, um, was I may have been longer than today. I just seen it today personally. But from this point on, Halo Infinite is not going to have typical seasonal content, such as battle passes. They're going to do these kind of every so often, these every couple of weeks. Um, I guess events type ordeals where it's gonna be, I guess, 20 levels. I hope it's more than that, honestly. I hope it's like 30 to 35 in each one of these little sections of content that they put out. Personally, I'm all here for it. I think it's going to be a really cool addition to the game. I think it's going to be something that's kind of starts taking away from the battle pass infestation that we've had over the last couple of years in gaming, especially since the release of Fortnite. And listen, I love Fortnite. I have fun playing the fucking game. It's fun as shit to play, but battle passes are hitting a definite point where it's like, okay, I don't need any more of these. I've had a fucking enough. Um, and hopefully this kind of leads to kind of more companies going away from that whole setup and not doing battle passes as frequently. Um, I don't necessarily think battle passes are bad by any means. I just think they're kind of becoming a little bit overdone and kind of a bit stale, because literally any AAA title typically has one. Um, and it's just any important. I'm kind of just bored of it, and kind of straying away from it. I think it's going to be a good thing in the future for games, and I say that specifically towards AAA titles, not necessarily like indie titles or anything. Because my biggest issue with battle passes isn't necessarily like the whole battle pass grind thing. Like honestly, it gives me something to do in game, and I'm all here for that. I always look for being a completionist whenever I play games, and that's something that I always do. So, they don't bother me in that sense. But I think the biggest thing with battle passes anymore, at least from what I've noticed, I think in recent years, and there could be people who agree with me or disagree with me in this context, but that's fine. But I feel like battle passes has overall taken away from a lot of content that should be in game from launch, and I think it'll be good as we stray away from that era and head into something new, outside of battle passes. You know, like I think most games could even still pull off doing seasons, but do the content in a more unique way. I mean, maybe instead of doing battle passes, have things locked behind like seasonal challenges, like, oh, you have to do this or play this or use this weapon to earn this reward for this season. Also playing like absolute dog shit. I'm honestly tired as hell, but hopefully that's kind of what we start edging back towards. One thing that I think, said constantly that has been a big issue with this game for me is that there's not really any challenges. Like, there's achievement hunting and stuff that you can earn via that way, but overall, like, when it comes to, like, content that you can, like, really hop on and grind and things like that, I think challenges are a really cool way of showing that kind of grind, where it's like, oh, they've played this mode this much, or they've completed all the challenges in this section of the game, so they have like this cool thing to show off, rather that be like an emblem or a player card, or a, in this case, like with Halo, it could be like an armor coating or an armor set and stuff like that. um I've always said, like, I hope they add that to this game at some point, or if they can't do that, hopefully in the next iteration of Halo that we have, whatever that mainline entry may be, hopefully we get those kinds of things back. That's something I definitely do miss in Halo. I miss being able to play a bunch of different modes and earn everything in them. And honestly, with things like that, I've noticed in a lot of cases, actually helps modes stay populated, especially when it comes to people who are wanting to grind them for those, assets that are in the game. Um, and it's an overall net positive. Of course, that does mean companies aren't necessarily bringing in as much money because of a lack of a battle pass, because usually each season it's usually 10, 15, $20 per battle pass, and they usually come out every couple of months, which isn't necessarily horrible, and I think it's really good for free games, so it does help a lot there. Like with Halo Infinite, I feel like that is a big step in the right direction. Or for example, like a game like Fortnite, where they have that come out every season, but the game is free. You don't have to, spend $60, $70 on the title. You can just download and play it. In those cases, I really don't mind battle passes. I think they're pretty overall like a net positive in those cases. But I'm kind of just bored of the fucking format, I guess is what I'm getting at. The format itself is very overdone and kind of redundant at this point, to be completely honest with you. I definitely don't think it's the worst thing ever. It's definitely better than what we had prior, which, prior to that being the thing, it was loot boxes were the thing in games, and those were actually fucking horrid. Just because it was a literal fucking gambling system in most games. But yeah, I think we're starting to hit to an end of that era of battle passes, and the next fad will come in, whatever it may be. One thing I'd like to hopefully see return that a lot of games, I think, like I said, have missed out on in recent years are challenges. And by challenges, I mean in-game challenges, things that you can do to earn content within the game and to kind of earn your mark on that title. I know Call of Duty still has them with like the mastered camo and like the Grandmaster grind and all that shit. I feel like they kind of strayed away from it though a little bit, to be completely honest. Because I don't know if y'all remember if you played COD back in the day, but a big thing was playing every single mode in like the core game modes or hardcore playlist, and you would get like a mastery calling card or emblem, whatever it may be, and it was just things that would like allow players to show off their skill and their dedication, which I think is really fucking cool personally. Even if it's a game I don't grind a lot, I like it whenever there's those things that are like, oh no, you can see how many hours I put into this. And while I know some people are assholes about it, I think it's a really cool thing to see. And it's like, oh, this person's just good at the game and put a lot of hours into it. Also, active camo is absolutely fucking me this game, and I cannot fucking stand it. Like, it's active camo for sure, I can say that much, but it's not fucking fun to deal with. And do I want to deal with it? No. But yeah, so I'd like to hear your all's opinions on that, on what the future of Halo could withhold with the loss of battle passes in game, because honestly, it's something that is kind of crazy. I didn't expect it, especially anytime soon. With the success of Season 5, I was genuinely surprised to hear that they were kind of scrapping that whole thing. And I know there's quite a few things that have been scrapped in Halo recently due to the change of things at 343 and such. But yeah, that was definitely a big surprise one, because Season 5 honestly did really, really well. And I was like, you know what, that's fine. If it's this good, I do not care to keep seeing these battle passes. Like, that's fine. And that's another thing about battle passes, is if the seasonal content's good, I have no issues with it at all. I honestly think it's more of a net positive than a net negative. If the content's good, then it is worth it. But there has been a lot of like instances where battle pass content has been extremely fucking lackluster, and it kind of leads to a decline in that game. Like, I personally don't think COD's had a decent battle pass, at least from what I've seen in years. There's been some fucking stinkers out there. Now, does that mean every season has to be perfect? No. There's going to be down seasons, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's just a life cycle of a game. And honestly, that's completely okay. Games are supposed to have ebbs and flows. And you know what that does in a lot of ways? It does, tell the dev team of what they need to step up on and what they need to do more of, because it does help in a lot of those ways to kind of direct the developers where the community wants them to go. And hopefully that's like when they start listening. And I think 343 has definitely started listening more and more often recently, just due to the flack that Infinite got on launch. And when I say this game has got better, I mean that in a significant way. This game is nowhere near the mess that it was on initial launch day. And honestly, that's just a good thing. I feel like 343 is definitely now more focused than ever when it comes to fixing their errors and making a game that is well deserving of hours upon hours of playtime. And like I said, I love Infinite. I absolutely love where this game is now. I have so much fucking fun with it because I just like this game a fuckload. I think it's just really fucking fun. And I play it every single day. Especially the addition of things like the hero mastery grind or the hero rank grind, which has been honestly a really fun thing to do, just hopping on here, for 4 to 5 hours a day and just grinding the fuck out of multiplayer, just because it gives you something to do, and that is honestly all that I can ever ask for from a game when it comes to a multiplayer atmosphere. Of course, single player is completely different, but multiplayer specifically, I just want things to do. I want to be a completionist because that's how I've always done games. It's just as a completionist type person, that's really what brings me to play multiplayer games for a longevity and to consistently come back and keep playing. And I think with the takeaway of battle passes, that hopefully will help. Also, super sorry for the horrible gameplay in this video. I know it's pretty fucking bad. But hopefully with the reduction of battle passes, it allows him to focus on things that need more taken care of. Like maybe adding more shit in the game to do. Like I said, the challenges thing is a big thing for me. That was one thing I always loved about Halo, was having like little challenges that you could do to unlock shit. And this game kind of misses that. Or also just having challenges to do to show off. Of being like, look what I've done. Rather that be like a mastery camo grind, which I don't know why they haven't ever really had that in Halo at this point with the like skins and everything they've added to weapons, or back on Halo 4 and 5 when they had the class system. It just kind of made sense, but also I guess because there's like not as many weapons in Halo as there are games like Call of Duty and such. Personally, I'm not opposed to it. I just don't want it to be a main focus like it is with COD now, where it's like multiplayer is just made for a camo grind. I think that's really fucking stupid. But if you just give me something a little extra to do while I'm grinding everything else out that I'm going to grind out, it just kind of makes it feel more fulfilling. And also with an addition of challenges, it makes XP gaining a lot easier, which is, I think, a big issue with this whole hero grind thing, honestly. It all appeals to score in-game, which is fine. I don't mind that at all. I don't think it's the worst thing ever. But also, it would be cool to have like an actual XP system that is proper and put in place for leveling. Of course, make it a big run like this. I think it's really fucking cool because it gives you that push to really complete the game to its fullest capacity and reach that max level. But maybe make it a little bit more fulfilling, because at times I'm playing and I don't feel like the score per minute thing or the score per game thing is really that fulfilling. I like a whole XP system that's really thought out and put out in place. And I think Halo could do a really cool thing with it, with all the like style shit that you get, where it's like like the headshot medals, or the the double triple over kills and shit like that. I think that stuff would be really cool to add into like an XP system, but also add challenges for doing those things in games. Or like in Master Chief Collection, there's like a challenge for getting kills with like the AR or the BR sniper rifle, and you unlock these little things to put on your account to show that you've used that weapon to its fullest potential. Things like that I think is pretty cool. Or having things in game modes as well. And hopefully, like I said, with them stepping back away from the battle pass aspect of the game, hopefully that allows them to focus on that more. And I think the more that they push away from the things that people dislike about FPS games specifically right now, I think it's only going to make Halo better. When it comes to the player base, when it comes to introducing new players to the series, because as much as I know some people hate to see it, there's a lot of new players coming into Halo, especially with a whole new generation of kids that are just now finding out about this series. I think most people know that Halo isn't in its heyday that it was in the early 2000s and the early 2010s. It's definitely died down a lot from then. Shit, I still remember when Halo 3 came out, and it was the only game that I fucking wanted that year, because like, this looks like the coolest thing ever. But yeah, hopefully with what they're doing, it allows them to focus more on the game and just make it continuously better for us. Because I think if they continually do that, it's just going to increase the amount of players that we see in the game. It's going to increase the new faces that we see, and it's just going to make for the later entries into the series just better and better. And I think that's really all fair, because I don't really have a lot more else to talk about. Also, if you're new to Halo, I'm just gonna add it. If you're new to this series and you were a kid, do yourself a favor. Go purchase the Master Chief Collection, or go play it on Game Pass and play the original games. And if you're playing on Xbox, also play Halo 5. I honestly didn't put much hours into that game, but just play through them and enjoy them for what they are. I know that Halo 1, 2, 3, even Reach, ODST, they look a bit dated, but I think if we're going to accept new people into a community, go enjoy what came out prior. Go experience it and realize what really made those games special. Because yes, devs hear it from the old players a lot, but if they see the new players are also talking about it, it makes it a lot more serious because like, oh, the players who are now hopping in don't like this aspect, or they want this back from the old game. Let's add this, and it overall is a net positive. I'm not one for gatekeeping games for the most part, but I also have some issues with how casual player bases are looked at compared to, you know, I guess what they would call veteran players or even pro players above that. But yeah, if you all got back into those old games, also 343, thank you for just making Halo really fucking fun now. I have genuinely been having the time of my life getting back into Halo over the last year or so. It's just been an awesome experience. I've loved actually getting to play this game again and love it like I used to as a kid. And even like whenever I was in my early teen years, just experiencing this game and being like, damn, this really scratches an itch for me that I haven't scratched in a long time. And hopefully that doesn't die out. Hopefully they don't, you know, slow down on us at all and they continue putting out banger after banger like they have with the last couple of updates being super fucking fun and just adding more and more to the game to make it a more complete and thorough experience. I thought I was about to die. But guys, I'm gonna hop out of here. I love you. And yeah. Later, dudes.